This is now coming through on the phone, I think. I can't leave it on this, though. Let me know if this does come through, because I can't... and then back to the wireless mic. All right, hold on, because I can't leave it on that. Is this still... If I went back out again... All right, hold on, because I can't leave it... Whoops. If I went back out again... All right, hold on, because I can't... Okay, there we go. I think it's still going. I don't know which sounded better. Hopefully this sounds better than what was on a minute ago. I'd flipped it to the iPhone, but I can't leave it on the iPhone. This is the wireless mic that's supposed to be the better sounding mic. But geez, things aren't working tonight. I mean, what do you think sounded better, when I had the iPhone kick in or when it switched to the wireless? Wasn't how I intended to start this tonight. But I'm glad you're here, Dylan. Otherwise, I would have no idea, really. Hello, is this still on? Hello, is this still on? I think it is. So hopefully this sounds better than the iPhone did when it kicked in. But I guess I can check that later. We'll just go with this for now. I hope if you'd stay standing up. There we go. Wow. Well, that was not how I intended this intro to go. But here we are. I didn't really know how this was going to, what I even had planned tonight and how this was going to go. I knew that I needed to do a live stream tonight because I ended up missing last night. And I had to, I feel like I need to keep this momentum going. Because I'm getting kind of buried this week. I'm really not happy about it. I'm borderline about ready to leave my job, but I sort of need the money, but it's becoming incredibly intrusive. And I know I've talked about this before, but they did it again. They did it again. They did it again. I'm already working a certain number of shifts this week, and now they want to add more. I'm already covering for somebody who is who's been in surgery. And I was doing them a favor, and then they're now pushing it. You know, they're asking for this, and I'm giving them this, and now they're trying to take a little more. And it keeps going. And I'm going to have to step down if they keep doing this. So oh, I'm glad. I'm sorry to hear. Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you know in exactly 1 month? That's going to be me. My dad passed away on November 27th, and I've originally requested that night off, but I'm actually going to go in, but just for 4 hours. I'm not going to do a full shift on that night, but I usually try not to work. I also don't work on my birthday, and there's a reason for that. I always make sure it's booked off, and it was originally supposed to be off. Let me check for a second. But if I'm covering for this guy who's in surgery, I might end up needing to work. They might end up being on a night that I'm supposed to go into work, but I'm not going to, though. It's a Wednesday this year. How about that? Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to do it, though. I'm going to make sure that's off. Oh, geez, I keep falling over. So yeah, the reason I ask for my birthday off is because they always end up. Sorry, let me back up. The reason I asked for it off is I have a bit of a weird history. I feel like that's another one of those curses, because anytime I have had to work on my birthday, first of all, I usually wind up getting booked to work on my birthday. Whatever job I'm working in all the 30 plus years I've been doing this nonsense, every time I end up working on it, something goes wrong at work. Just enough to make the night horrible. Not enough to kind of get me in trouble, not enough to make it, but it's enough that it makes this shift absolutely horrible. It's only once that I recall many years ago that I got through a shift on my birthday where it went okay and I could kind of go home and enjoy it. But then something else different happened that night. So but as far as like my work, I try not to go into work because I'm now paranoid that something will go horribly. And I could tell you stories. I could tell you stories of things that is just like, that sounds like it should be out of like a television sitcom. And it's true. It happens every time. So I just like, I book it off. And as long as I book it off, nothing happens. I usually end up enjoying the birthday. It goes fine. So I try to make sure I'm booked off. Oh, the release of Paranorman. Do you know what? Yeah, so last night, I had friends come in from out of town, and we ended up going to see Black Phone 2, which I enjoyed more than they did. They didn't like it as much. I actually really liked it for reasons that would go into spoilers, and I don't want to do that. But another friend of mine keeps telling me, go see Paranorman. You haven't seen it yet. Go see it. And I really, really should. It's at sort of a small repertoire cinema that's just down the street. And it's usually a little bit cheaper. I should try and go see it. The problem is, as long as I only have so much time, right? I only have so many days off, and I only have so much time to get so much done. And as long as I keep getting called into work, that eats into my personal time. And then I can't do things like this. So, but there's about 4 movies right now that I would like to see in the cinema. Black Phone was one of them. Paranorman is out now. I'd like to go see that. Some of them are showing it in 3D. What was the other one? Oh, Frankenstein is out. That's Del Toro's Frankenstein. I'd really like to see that in a cinema. I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to, but I'd really like to. It's only it's for Netflix. Netflix bought the rights to it. They want to air it, but they're giving it a week's viewing in the cinema, and I'd really like to go see that if I can. I'm going to try to, but crap. I'm really getting frustrated. I heard it's actually really good in 3D. So yeah, I would. I kind of certain movies are really don't need to be in 3D, and then there's others that actually do look really surprisingly good in 3D. So I would go see it. There was one other one. Oh, I am curious to see, although I know it's not the best reviews, I am curious to see Shelby Oaks, which is reviewer Chris Stuckman's first movie, and I've been sort of I've followed him for over 10 years. I've been following his, and I was almost going to donate to support it, but I just don't have the money for that. And frankly, I was a little bit, I don't know. I'm cynical and I'm old and I'm frustrated that, he's still in his 30s and he's getting to do this. And I wanted to get back into animation and never could. So it was bad. And I'm like, no, you know what? I'm not going to. He has enough fans that will support him. And the reviews have been mixed, but I am curious to go see it. Apparently, he's not a great writer, but he's really good with a camera. The cinematography is really good. So I am curious to go see it anyways. I'll go see his flick. If I can. If I can't, I'll find out what streaming service it's on. I'll see it later. But oh, are they selling a VHS? You need a VCR. Do they still make those? I should technically be one of those people that because I grew up on VHS. I remember, like, when we got our first VHS player and the first movies we saw on VHS and that kind of thing. And I should be one of those people that hold on to that. But I was kind of, in a weird way, I was kind of glad when that technology passed, and there's reasons behind that. But and DVD, like, I had everything stolen. I had everything actually stolen. Like, my whole DVD collection was completely stolen, and a lot of my VHS. And focusing. Oh, what did you go to see? What? Oh, Shelby Oaks, the Chris Stuckman flick. I heard it didn't get the best reviews. Sorry, just in case people were wondering, I'm just repeating that it's Chris Stuckman's movie Shelby Oaks hasn't gotten the best reviews, but I am curious to go see it anyways. Regardless, just because I do like Chris Stuckman. I've always kind of enjoyed his reviews, and I know he's gotten a lot of negative backlash lately, and his cinematography is very good, but apparently not a great writer. But I'll go see it. I'll check it out. When they were asking for backers, I thought about it, and then I decided no. I need to back my own dreams. So that's kind of why I thought I need to. Oh, all right, okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people still have one. I suppose, I don't know. If I had kids, was married with kids, I might have had one still. But I think one of the things was that I remember, because I enjoyed cinema so much, I used to. The thing that used to drive me nuts, even back in the 80s and early 90s, what drove me crazy was the fact that they were pan and scanned, and that you were losing the sides of the screen. And I thought you really weren't getting, how should I put it? You weren't getting kind of the director's vision. And I remember when they actually started releasing some movies in a pan and scan format. I didn't care if I had a small square TV. I still liked seeing the full thing across the middle, even though it left black bars. And people got confused on that. I used to work in video stores, and people didn't understand that they weren't cropping the screen this way. I kept saying, no, you're getting more on the sides. It's just there is nothing more at the top and bottom, so it's going to stretch across the middle. You're looking at a movie screen stretched across the middle of your screen. You're not losing the top and bottom. So I was trying to collect movies on widescreen. And then DVDs came out. They came in, and some you had the options. Like, some of them were pan and scan, and some of them were now having the option right away of widescreen. You could flip the disc over for some of them. So, well, I wish you all the best of luck, because that's still that is dying out, unfortunately. I think, although I know people still like physical media now, it's Blu-rays. The guy that used to be my old roommate in the other place, he's big on he's big on collecting physical media, and I understand that. Don't get me wrong, I'm Gen X, I'm all about like physical media, but you see RTs. Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I'm big on physical media. I was robbed. I had somebody rip me off and take my entire collection. And since then, I just, as I figured, I'm getting older. I'm trying to reduce what I have. And I already have too much stuff because I have all my parents' stuff. So since my whole digital collection, music too, is all gone, I try to, why do I feel out of breath already? Oh, I try to keep it handy digitally. Some things I actually have digital versions of on either on discs or on flash or on backup drives, that kind of thing. So I have about, because I used to like kaiju movies, I have about about a dozen Godzilla flicks that are all just on my backup drive. So if things hadn't been stolen, I might have kept all of that. But they take up a lot of space. That's the other thing too. And as I said, I'm trying to reduce, and I have too much stuff as it is. But no, I totally get it though. Don't get me wrong. Physical media, there should be that. Once you have it, it's yours. The funny thing is, I mean, people my age and older, we still go back to a time before any kind of where movies were thought of having physically like music. I mean, when I came into the world, music was record players and 8 tracks, right? Even the little cassettes were not really a big thing yet. 8 tracks were a pain in the ass, but it was all records and radio, and then television, and then when a movie you saw in the cinema, maybe a year or two later, finally made it to television, you tried to catch it that night on television, because once it was aired, that was it. And then you saw it broken up because of commercials, edited for television, pan and scan badly. So it was a mess, but that's the only way you could see it, right? And but that was it. That nobody owned a movie at the time. That was just unheard of. But once video rentals came into being, that started to change. What was this? When I started getting into buying physical media on a regular basis due to an increase in finances, I was to watch the movie in the theater, streaming, and if I love it, I buy. Yeah, me too. That was totally the way I did it as well. I'd see it in the cinema, and if I really liked it, I'd buy it. I found I was buying a lot of things though, and I realized that some stuff I was never going to watch again. So, but 8 tracks were a thing, and somewhere I have a few. They were weird. I don't know if you've ever used one. You couldn't rewind. You could stop it, but it really wasn't a pause. You just stopped the tape. They looped through on the inside, so it just kept going in a loop. And so how it worked was tape. The length of the tape was only long enough to hold about 4 or 5 songs, but they were broken up into 4 tracks. So instead of like being the length, it was the tape was broken up into 4 different sections, so you could fit about 16 to 20 songs, give or take, on one 8-track. If people watch this on replay, go look up 8 tracks and describe what they are. I mean, these were like little bricks about so big, and you'd pop them in the machine, and they'd be stuck out about an inch or so. You'd stick it all the way in the machine, and it'd be playing. It's a tape, right? But you couldn't skip a song. It was broken into 4 chapters, and each, because that was on the tape, it would be divided into 4s. So, and each chapter had about 4 or 5 songs, right? So you couldn't skip a song. You could only go to the next chapter. You could, and it'll be on the disc. It'll have chapter 1. Well, for the first 4 or 5 songs, chapter 2, the next 4 or 5 songs, chapter 3, chapter 4. And so if you hit a song you didn't like, you either tolerated it or you had to skip down to the next chapter, right? And if there was a song you didn't like, but the next song you did like, and it was in that same chapter, you had to sit through it. You had to kind of tolerate it, because otherwise you'd end up skipping the song you did like. You only hope that the song you didn't like was at the end of that chapter, and then you could skip it. But it was such a weird way of doing it, and I don't know if that makes any sense, what I just described. But that was how those were put together. I wish I had one handy, and it's not here. It's probably in storage. I still have a couple somewhere. My mom had about 7 or 8 of them. At least with records, you could pick the needle up and move it, right? You had to flip. You only had 6 to 10 songs on one side and 6 to 10 on the other, so you had to flip it partway through. Your disc, you had to flip over to play the other side of the record. But at least you could pick the needle up and move it to a song that you liked. I recently learned that the reason why movie novelizations are a thing is because you couldn't rewatch the movie due to the tech. Yes, yeah, that's true. Essentially, able to be viewed in theaters. Yeah, there's some truth in that. Most times, the movies kind of were based on books. A lot of times, it was very rare that the book would come out based on a movie. I remember, yeah, it was in the 80s after VHS was just starting to become a thing. For English class, we had to pick a book that was it had to be on a sea-bearing theme. It could be anything you wanted. And I remember asking my teacher, I said, do you mind if I pick Jaws? I says, I've seen it a couple of times. I really like it. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. She says, even include in your book report, like what you thought compared to the movie. And I remember reading it and thinking, this is awful. This is one of the few times the movie was actually outdid the book. The novelization of Jaws is awful. And this is supposed to be like a bestseller. Because my mother had told me she had read it and she didn't like it. So I thought, I'm curious now. So I read it, and I was just aghast at how terrible the characters were in that book. So I don't know if you've ever read it, but it's just not good. I was just absolutely shocked. But I do Aquaman or Jurassic Park. The Jurassic Park book is supposed to be interesting. Again, still apparently the movie is still a bit better than the book, but it's not as I don't know. Some people argue the book was better. At least that one's arguable. But Jaws, though, I can tell you right now, the book was awful. I don't know if I should spoil too much. Everybody's seen the movie Jaws by now, right? Your characters, you're those three characters that go out together is what that whole movie is based on, the characterization of those three and what they were like. And the guy that plays the scientist, Hooper, that was played by Richard Dreyfuss. In the book, he's a terrible person. There's an affair between him and Brody's wife in the book. No, thumbs down. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, there's an affair between those two characters, and then it dwelled on it. And the mother's obnoxious. She's just a horrible person too. And I thought, how could you get so sidetracked in a basic story about a shark attacking a small town beach? But yeah, I just did not like it. And actually, he dies too. The two of them die in the book when Hooper goes down in the cage. He bites the big one when he goes down. In fact, I think they originally shot it that way or were going to shoot it that way, and it was pre-screenings before it was even fully edited. Some people who got to pre-screen it were like mad because they really liked his character in the movie. It was so much more interesting in the movie, and they were mad that he got killed, so they had him survive. And but yeah, also the shark. It's more suspenseful and dramatic and more exciting ending when he blows up the shark. And in the book, they just sort of harpoons it and it just dies. That's it. So there you go. I just summed up the book for you. You don't have to read it. But oh, very nice. Deluxe edition combo of Jurassic Park, Lost World. Okay. I'm talking about the book. I guess the books. Accidents. The moving box or shed. Oh no, that's terrible. Oh, I'm sorry. Isn't that awful when that happens? I've lost so much stuff to water damage. That's the most tragic thing. Water damage is awful. I lost piles of art supplies to water damage. I'm living in a basement apartment right now. That always worries me about water damage. I seem to have this hideous history of that. My camera is off. I usually don't like to show the bookshelf that much. Make sure to give me a thumbs up. He did. So yeah, I want to get a I gotta figure something out. I think coming up pretty soon. I have a second camera. I have a second one of these. This is a webcam. And I have another one, which is a C920. It's an older one, but it does 1080p. Oh, you son of a bitch. Don't do that. This is a C920. It's and I got this. Oh no. He owes you another one then. I bought this because I wanted to go over top my other desk, which is right there, so that I could do artwork, drawing art, like physical work. Because every time you see me drawing, I'm on my monitor, which is why I keep looking down. I'm looking at myself down here, so I'm looking at the. Yes, I'm looking directly at the drawing monitor down here. But I set this up so I could start doing some physical work. I need to start pulling out my all my physical, like I've got alcohol markers and the watercolor markers you can see there. I've got watercolor paints, I've got acrylics, I've got all this stuff, pen and ink, and I'm still doing it digitally on here because it's so much easier to stream. That's the only reason why I'm kind of doing that. Otherwise, I'd be doing a lot more with physical work. I did have it set up, but this really stretches. So the two issues, one of them is that this really stretches. It's pulling on everything. I need a longer cord for this, or an extension cord, and I don't know if I have one, or if I can switch cameras, and if that would even work, and if that would... I don't know if I can even do that. I might sell this. I'm not sure yet. But I'd really like to do physical work. The other issue, too, is that I have to move everything over. I have to move... Oh, no! Everything just about fell. Oh, that was dumb. Okay, I got it. We're all right. As I have to move over, and I have to move that camera over. And then you see this horrible shelf behind me. You can see the stairs, and it looks messy. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's just, and I don't know whether to do that or not. So I don't know how to set that up so it looks better. I have such a confined space. I'd like to change this around, but I don't know what to do with it. So yeah, if anyone's open to ideas. But I'm going to try and replace. No, that's awful. I'm sorry. Hi, good evening, Terry. Hello. I'm just sitting here blethering away tonight. I haven't even done any drawing. I've just been talking since I had a little audio issue that I started off with, and I didn't really have any plan tonight. Yesterday evening, normally I like to do a Saturday stream. I like to do Wednesdays and Saturdays. I'm trying to make that a regular thing. And so last night I had some friends coming out of town. He could only come up on the Saturday night because he's working. So I said I was going to move it to tonight. And I even did a little video to say, hey, I can't do it tonight, but I'm doing it tomorrow. So I don't know how many people saw that or not. But yeah, so... also, I did put up a video earlier today, an actual like pre-recorded and edited formal YouTube-style video, and I'd like to kind of make that a regular thing. That took me a month to get that out, just again because of work. It took me a while and it still wasn't finished. I know there was huge things that I missed, things that could have been tightened down, things that, yeah. So it didn't. It didn't go as planned, but I just needed to make it and get it up. Like I need to get this ball rolling. So I'm not even sure what to do next, but I was hoping to get like a video out weekly. And that's becoming difficult again because of work. So, oh, you did. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you saw it. That's nice. I want to get it. I know it's 15 minutes long, and I don't blame you if you didn't sit through the whole thing. It kind of went on a bit long, and I got rambly at the end, and I didn't know really what to do to edit it down tighter. But I was running out of time. I thought this was already getting on, like week after week was going by, and I had to just get it condensed. I had to just go with it as it was. So yeah, so I did. But I'd like to get another one done. I'm trying a couple of different ideas. I mean, it was kind of a sort of a techish kind of review, and I'd like to try something else on the next one. Maybe I'll do like just testing out different markers. I wanted to do a little kind of nobody's done this in a long time. It was kind of the draw your life kind of thing, and I wasn't going to do my whole life, but I thought there's some funny little moments in my life that I could turn into these little segments that I could kind of draw out and just sort of show a drawing unfold, and have about 4 or 5 drawings unfold through me narrating the story of something that happened to me when I was young that I thought would be really fun, and so that would. It really is. It really, and it's the hard thing is I don't have a fixed schedule. Like I sort of have a couple of nights that are fixed, but they keep calling me in for more. And when you try to put something down in a calendar and say, okay, this day I'm going to work on this, and sure as hell they call you in. I get called, and it can't happen anymore. Like I think after right now I'm covering for somebody who's in surgery, and I think come the middle of next month. That's it. I'm done covering. I'm gonna have to tell her I can't like this. I have to treat it like another job. I have to say I can't. I'm working my other job, which is this, because I need to get this ball rolling. I need to make this into something. But yeah, it's been frustrating. YouTube Aquaman. Oh, okay. Okay. I used to read Aquaman. I used to long time ago. Not even a long time. I mean, like 70s and 80s kind of, or 70s actually is when I used to read. I remember reading Aquaman. I wasn't a big comic book person, believe it or not. People, I know so many friends that do comics, and yet I was never a big comic reader. Strangely, I like as far as like the superhero comics, I think I reading Spider-Man. I remember reading Hulk a bit. For some reason, and Aquaman was one that I read. Oh, of course, I had to. When Marvel did their Godzilla series back in the 70s, that was the really weird one. I had to read that. What was the other? Oh, do you know what I used to read? There was one called Devil Dinosaur. I read that. And Gold Key put out Turok, Son of Stone. And I think they tried to revive that, but I used to read that one a lot because it was, again, cavemen and dinosaurs kind of thing, right? So, as it had dinosaurs in it, I wanted to read it. But that was my big delve into comics. But I was never a big comic person. You know, people who had like boxes and boxes of them, and I didn't. I had maybe between 10 and 20 at the very most. But I don't know. I don't know if I should. Oh, here I see something. I found. Does anyone know whether anyone on tonight or if anybody watches this on replay? Does anyone know anything about baseball cards? The reason I ask is I know this is out of the blue. Somebody at work was going to dump out a bunch of baseball cards. There's only about 20 of them. I'm not one to collect baseball cards, but they were all in really good condition. And I grabbed them out of the recycling bin because there was nothing else in it. They weren't wet. They weren't damaged. They're in really good condition. And then my friend of mine says, I've got a pile of like sports cards sleeves. Put them in it. You just put them in it and see if maybe somebody might be interested. So I put them all in sleeves, and I've got them. I looked them up online, And it's not like they're horribly valuable. They're anywhere between like 20 and 30 cents up to a couple of dollars. So I've got about 20 of these. So if anybody knows much about baseball cards, who would collect anything like this, should I just go to a collector? I know I've heard sometimes they can kind of rip you off. Sometimes if you go into like a store and there's like a store that collect where they do trading cards, that some of them are kind of a bit, I don't know. So I don't know. I'm looking to see if I can. I'm not looking to. They're not worth a whole lot, but I'd like to see if I just want to at least give them a good home, anyways. They're rather than just see them go to recycling, go to the garbage. But Jeff Johns Aquaman 52. All right, it's for the Aquaman movie. All right, sounds good so far. All right, maybe something to check out. I'll have a look. Since then, oh, does he? All right. But yeah, so I don't know what to do with these cards. I'm not going to throw them out. I'll just have to see if somebody collects cards. I don't know. Oh, what I was mentioning earlier is that I do plan to hook up. What was I getting to? Oh, next week I might try and get an extension. I don't know even whether or not to sell that camera and get a better one, because this. To come back to this, sorry, I meant to finish this earlier. This is what I had over top of when I was drawing before. And while it's okay, if the slightest movement up and down with my hand causes focus. Hey, you, are you still there? You, what took you so long to say hello? Calum? My Scottish friend. Where do you be? I need more of my UK viewers. Mate, we have to talk sometime. But yeah, I know it's really late where you are. You have to add about 5 hours. So it's 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you doing up so early? It's 4 a.m. I've been following Scott for a long time. I found Scott and a few other friends on an app that unfortunately no longer exists. It was so much fun, and I'm so sad this ended up crashing out. Let me just address this first. It was I found about an hour ago. Oh, okay. Okay, I should talk to my friend Jim. He's deals with comics a lot. Although he doesn't usually deal with the big ones, he usually deals with the more independent stuff. But I'll ask him though if he might have some insight on some of that stuff. He's really good with that. I forget what I was going to say. Damn it. That's right. It's Scott Singer, Calum. I met him through, and a few other people I met through an app that is no longer exists, unfortunately. And I think it was called Stardust. And it was actually a movie reviewing app is what it was. And you could make little 30-second videos, 15 to 30-second videos of just your quick thoughts on movies. You could pick any movie, old ones, new ones. And that whoever started the app wanted to keep it free. I don't think they wanted to charge for it, but it really built this community of people where we're really following each other, and you could reply to each other as well through it. And it was really fun. You could kind of joke about movies and TV shows, anything, and you could upload the poster to it, and it would kind of go into the data bank. And Calum, Scott Stinker, was one of the was one of the reviewers on there. He's really funny. Cameron's really, really funny. He's just a young fella. He's like 9 feet tall. This guy. He's this tall, gangly guy who does running. He's does what do you call it? Long distance running, I think. Anyways, he but he was really funny. He was really, really funny, and I started watching him and a few other people on there that we kind of came to know. So when they announced that they couldn't keep the app going any longer, it was too expensive, and we all were like, we didn't mind if we had to maybe pay a little bit for it. Like, I was willing to do that, but unfortunately, it wasn't feasible enough. The person couldn't keep up with it, and there were a few people that were beginning to abuse it. There were sort of the people that got on there and started getting too political, and they were trying to avoid that. There was somebody on there who's getting downright nasty about it, and I thought, no, it's not necessary. And they had to start blocking some people, and it was kind of a shame. So I think some people got right. It was going to. This is before TikTok, and it was becoming TikTok before TikTok existed. They were trying to keep it just movies, right? Just movies, and it was somebody got on there and was trying to be overly dramatic about it, or be kind of, people were getting mad at him. That aside, though, we really enjoyed it. But when they did announce they were folding it, we kind of connected with each other, and we started following each other on social media and other social media. We started following each other. Some people have sadly lost in touch with, but Calum, though, I've managed to keep in touch with, though, and as well as a few others. Christopher Michael's another one. He's on YouTube here. He does coloring. He does marker reviews, and then he does coloring on here. I don't know if he didn't. He wasn't the cause of it to fold, but he was definitely making it difficult on the people who were running the app, kind of thing, right? And I think that was kind of starting to stress some people out. But it was more the expense of it, the fact that people were uploading. Didn't realize, as you start building up a what do you call it, like a data bank of all these reviews, these little video reviews, it starts building up, and you just couldn't afford the storage for it any longer. So, which was really a shame. But we did manage to keep in touch with lots of different people from the app. So, so hope Scott comes back and watches this later. Or Kayla, I keep calling him Scott because he's Scott Stinker. He's Scottish, but Kayla, if he comes back and sees us later. He's also an artist, and I would like to get him on here sometime and join in a stream. But he is in the UK, and he's about 5 hours ahead, so which would put him at about 4 a.m. So let's see, my tea. I wonder if I should do a little bit of doodling here, since this is I've been sitting here yakking for almost an hour. Maybe I'll do something. I really do want to hook up that other camera and set something up. I got to figure something out for that, and I'm not sure what yet. But hello, KLG. Hello. I'm getting some names mixed up. Have we chatted before? Let's see if I can open this up. They've Apple changed their operating system, and I used to like the old system where you'd access the apps, and they've changed it, and I don't like the way they changed it now. It's because I used to like having them all in different folders, and it's not, I don't know, can't access it the same way anymore. And I miss the old way of doing it. Sorry for the blank space here. I'm just getting this started. New 16 by 9. Power outage at work. Oh, is this Kevin? I was so used to just seeing Kevin come up. Is that you, Kevin? A Mimo app. I'm not sure. I'm familiar with that. Voice chat. And I knew that people. Oh, shouldn't have did. All right. What should I? Oh, I do need. That's not going to work. 1 second. I always forget the tablet. You actually have to turn on the application of the tablet to get it to work. Pen tablet. I don't even have it up on the screen yet. Mino app. To share screen, entire screen, because that looks better. There we go. Ah, there we are. Put myself down there. That's fine. I was up to 5 viewers, and I'm down to 3. I need to build this up. I'm watching people doing live streams. They're like 50, 60. I was watching Johnny Strides on his secondary channel. He has like 280 viewers, and he does like call-ins and like. There's another artist who's Australian, not Jazza. Everybody thinks Australian artists, and they all say Jazza. It's not Jazza. I can't think of his name. Ben something? Ben. I'm drawing a blank on his name. He gets a lot of people watching. It's a huge audience of people chatting in, and he just kind of he talks about a little bit about what he's doing, but he's just more. Oops, this is all screwed up. 1 second. Man, I don't know how people get the audience. He just does live stream. Like, he doesn't even do any like pre-recorded videos. It's all live streams. He's really good. He's freaking amazing. Oh, he's embarrassingly good. Hold on, let me back this up a bit. It's probably because he's. I'll tell you this, and I hate to say this, but it's true. Most young people who come on here, and if they're younger and if they're attractive, they tend to they'll get an audience. Not to say older people don't. You can, but it social media feels like it was made for almost like it's more geared at younger people a lot. And I feel like I miss the boat on it sometimes. I've had people tell me I'm too old for this kind of thing. And I'm like, really? Because there's a lot of people in their 60s, 70s, and even their 80s on this thing. But it's true. It's sad, but true. It shouldn't be like that, but truth be told. I keep watching videos about, how to be successful on YouTube, and I'll stop watching them for a while, and then I'll start watching them again, and because I feel like I stopped watching it because no matter what advice I listen to, they're not going to help me in my situation. And the ones who are successful, yeah, if you look, if you post regularly, and you're physically appealing, you're set on this. You really are. You either have to be physically appealing, be very political or controversial. You'll definitely get an audience with that right now, which I don't want to do that. Or if you're interesting, really, you could even be older, but if you have a certain catchy personality that makes you really interesting, you can definitely, especially on like YouTube, I think has more range to it for sure. I know. I know it's for everyone. YouTube definitely has more range to it. TikTok, which is toxic as all get. That one definitely. Oh, there's a lot of really successful older people on it, but that one definitely has. There's more of it's definitely aimed at younger people. Like when they put up the challenges and whatnot, you can definitely see. You can definitely see where they're trying to. Mind you, some of the more interesting people that I'm following are older people. Yeah, Twitch. I was looking at Twitch for a little while. Twitch is more aimed at. You could kind of be successful on Twitch. It feels more aimed at gamers. Although I do know some people that did art on there for a while. But yeah, I think I don't think that's the place to make money for. Well, if you want to make money on it, if you want to get a good audience, I should say. Twitch is kind of not great for that. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of doodling here. I'm trying to be a little more flexible with styles. Let me tilt this down a bit more. Different styles and different angles as well. Trying to tilt the head in different ways and kind of trying to get different ideas going here with it. Let's see if nobody else is trying to reach me. YouTubeosaurus? Oh my goodness. So somebody replied to my last video under the name YouTubeosaurus. I remember that fella years ago. I mean, like over 20 years ago. Really nice fella. And I think he bought like an old computer off of me, but I learned that he was on YouTube and we sort of followed each other. But isn't that funny? He actually replied. Huh. There you go. Let me just have a quick look. I think that's the same fella. I think that's him. Oh, he left a huge reply. Anyway, I'll come back to that after. It's nice of him to put up a reply. I'm glad he did. Oh yeah, 5x8 sketchbook. Okay, the other day I have a 3x5. Oh, little ones, right? All right, things but those are handy though for like little on the spot moments. Just throw down and sketch something really quick, and yeah, those are great for that. If you can do little things with watercolor, and if you be surprised on actually how much sometimes when something's really loose like that, you can be a little more gestural. You're not thinking as much in detail, and it's what's what I'm looking for. Anyways, you tend to be more gestural because you tend to draw things quick, and they're really great for just being loose and just kind of throwing information down. Sometimes you can come up with like some really nice stuff. When you go broad, you tend to start overthinking a certain area, sometimes too much, rather than thinking loosely on the whole thing. Back in school, one of the things I missed doing was gestural drawings, and it's way over there. I can't get it. I used to like using. Wasn't big on charcoal. Charcoal was really messy, horribly messy. You'd draw a line, and it would just crumble, and dust would come down. It just gets on everything. But what I did really like was either Conte, although Conte would get on your fingers a lot, or just graphite sticks, which was take the lead of a pencil, and it was in a little brick about so big, and you just wrap one end with tape. But you don't do the whole thing. You need some room on it, and you wouldn't draw like a pencil with it. You'd hold it on its side, and you'd kind of keep your arm at a little bit of a distance so that you were drawing like this. You would use your whole arm rather than sit kind of doing like what I'm doing here, like this. You would just do this big gestural things, and you could get an idea of the shape and the form, and you get a nice flow to the work, and you weren't worried about making mistakes or erasing. You never erased in those classes. But yeah, I kind of miss those days of doing that sort of thing. That was a lot of fun doing that. It was kind of stressful when I started it because I wasn't the best at life drawing. It was definitely still is a weak point to this day, and I think always will be, unfortunately. But graphite powder, no. It sounds messy. If anything's messy, I'm not, which is weird coming from me as an artist. I like having some neatness to it. That's why I never like oil paints. Oil paints are just a bitch to deal with, especially cleaning. Oil paints are awful to try and clean, but that's why I like acrylics. They're just water. But no, a graph, is that the stuff you use like you use a brush and you put it on with a brush, I think, right? Graphite powder. Use a brush. Yeah, I think I've seen it. If it gets all over the floor, that would drive me mental. I am out of practice. This is the problem too with due to my job, is that it's taken away any drawing time, and I haven't been able to put any time into drawing like I'd used to. I'm supposed to be doing an art channel, and I never have the time to make any art, and that's been incredibly frustrating. That's just doodles I'm doing. But I don't even know what I'm doing here. Can you hear that sound? Yeah, I don't have a roommate anymore, but I am renting in a... Can you hear me? So I'm renting in a house, and the woman, she was away for she was away for the summer, and she just came back, but it's an old hardwood floor. So when she walks by, it creaks, and I was hoping getting this would mean that it would be isolated. The audio would be isolated in just the space, so that wouldn't come through on this. But evidently it is. That's not good. That's annoying. I don't know. We'll see. Oops. Oh, sorry. See what happens. I started here, was it May 1st? May. So I've been here 6 months. See what happens come next May. I'm contracted for a year in here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. She does go away every summer. She goes away in May again. I might stick it out for one more year till next October. Then I might, depending on the weather, and this time next year, I might not stay. So I tried to get I tried to get a flat that was not far from here in an apartment building, and I didn't get it, unfortunately. And I really did try to push for it, man. Went through so much effort to try and get that place, and I didn't get it. And so I had to scramble to find something at the last minute, and I found this. But I had the compromise was I had to put like half of my stuff in storage. So I'm trying to empty some of that out now. I'm trying to get some of those other things out of there. That's unfortunate, though, if that sound comes through. I don't have a printer, though. I'll have to go back and see what this sounds like. Yeah. I need sometimes I can caricaturize anyone or anything, but I do have to see it. I'm not one of those artists that can. I don't have a photographic memory. I can't just draw stuff out of my head. Unfortunately, if even like cars and things like that, if I see it, I can play around with it and make cartoon versions of it. But I can't just put it on my head. So so if I was to make a cartoon of a car, let's see if I can do it on my head. KLG. Who is KLG? KLG. I wonder if that was that Kevin. Is he still here? I don't know if that was him or not. He comes in just sort of under Kevin. See, the car doors I kind of need to. I like to be able to do more with this. That looks like it's going backwards. I need to work on my website too. That's the other thing is I'm not. I have a website. I think. God, I don't know if I just have it for one more year. If I have it for 2 years, but I think I have it till March. I haven't had time to do anything with it. I had a year and a half, and I have no time to do anything with it. And so I'm just going to dump it next year if I can't do anything. But I'm trying to set something up. Getting rid of that looks awful. Trying to set something up that I can start selling merch. Somebody somebody know that I kind of follow on TikTok just says, "Oh, I threw up a merch store," and I thought, just like that. He's not an artist or anything. He just threw stuff on a shirt and then just just made a little statement, had them thrown on mugs and t-shirts, that kind of thing. But because he does really well on TikTok and he has a good following, people will buy his stuff. I never have time to put stuff like that up or make videos on there to get enough of a following to make it worth doing something like that. But if there's a monthly fee, I don't want to pay like a monthly fee for something if I'm not selling anything. So yeah, there's that. I'm distracted a little bit, just clearing some stuff off my phone messages. No, that's fine. Mark Ellis Tech. I like him. I like Mark Ellis. Yeah, me too. It's I've talked about it before. I have WordPress. I think I use. It's through. Used to be called 1-in-1, and I forget what it's called now that hosts it. And then they use WordPress. It's confusing as all get. It used to be really, really simple, what they used to use to make the website. Now it's nightmarish. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing on it. I can't believe they made something so overly complex that shouldn't be that complex. It's awful. And if I can't figure anything out on that stupid thing, I'm not gonna keep going with it because it's giving me a headache. But here's the funny thing about tutorials. I have. They keep changing and updating it. So I'll find a tutorial, let's say only a couple of months old. It'll be like an hour and a half, and they go through every step. So I'll start doing it, and then about 10, 20 minutes in, he'll say, okay, now click on this up here. And I'll look at it on mine, and it's not there. I have no idea where it is. I'm going through everything, and I've had to stop the video because I can't go any further. And now this thing they're telling me to do, I can't figure it. It's not what he's describing is not what I'm looking at on the screen. And it's because WordPress keeps updating everything and moving things around. So all the tutorials from a couple of years ago that are useless. Right? Because everything's moved. So that's really frustrating. So I can try, maybe I've been told a few times to try ChatGPT, and I might see if I can walk it through, but I think I'm going to run into the same problem. They'll update something or change it, and I won't be able to go any further with it. But I don't know. It's very, very frustrating, that. So I'll see. I can try it again. I just need something really simple. I don't need anything very basic. I just need a library of it, or a library. Sorry, I mean a gallery of some of my work, and then another section where I can. I don't even need people to buy stuff off that site. I can just put a link to, I don't know, say like Threadless, or what's the other one? Printify, something like that. And then they can just direct people to that, because I think that's free. I think Printify, I think, is free for a certain amount. But yeah, so that was my. Sorry. So that was kind of my plan with that. But I don't even know if I really need the website anymore, really. If it's too much of a pain in the butt, I'm not going to do that. But sorry, somebody's just caught my attention. So, but I'll figure something out. I've got to figure something out soon, because I need to. I'm trying to finish a couple of drawings that I want to put on shirts. I've got some older work that I can put on them, but I need. There's a couple of new things I'm trying to get done that I want to get put on shirts. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. There's something I want to. Hold on. Let me. No, cancel. Let me see if I can find something here. There was something I did quite a while ago, and I spent a long time on it. It's still technically not completely finished. I might need to put in. Oh, I don't think I can get it. I don't think it's on this flash drive. There's a funny piece that I did, but it's a bit of an inside joke. You really have to know your old Roadrunner cartoons. And I don't think it's on this drive, and I won't be able to put the other one in to find it. Maybe I could. No, I won't be able to. No, it's not on this one. Damn it! And I don't have the ports to hold out to put in my other drive. Unless it's in the cloud. But I had this another piece. I had a different piece of artwork that I wanted to find out if I could put on prints. But I put on I might. I can't advertise it. It's Godzilla related. Oh, and it is actually Warner Brothers related too. Oh, oof, that might be a problem. I'll only have the rough sketch. Yeah. No, that's no good. Damn it. No, okay. Sorry about that. I just was trying to see if I could find something. But I won't say too much about it for now, but I'll maybe surprise people later. I might be able to put it on something, but just not really directly advertise it. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, and my Halloween. I have to work on my Halloween intro. So that's the other problem too, is because of with Halloween's coming up, and I'm going to do a very late night Halloween stream. So if you're around on Halloween night, come on in here, and I'm going to do I would like to do like an all night. Well, it'll be all night, but it'll be late. It'll be this big Halloween stream, but I have a lot of things I want to get ready for. So if you think you'll be around, let me know. But I have an introduction I made years ago, and I want to redo it. But I still have the original parts of the drawings, and all right. That would be nice to have somebody watching. I tried it last year, I think, and I didn't get anybody watching. I kind of gave up. Oh, no, it was last year. I had to work. I forget what happened last year on Halloween. Halloween falls apart every year for me, but it looks terrible. Let me try that again. Yeah, I should try and work on that. I think I'm going to work on that. I have to work tomorrow and Tuesday. Wednesday's the only day I have off. I'm not happy about any of this. I'm going to have a chat with the boss, because I'm not gonna keep doing this, because I don't know. I feel like if I could put more time into this, what I'm doing here, in time, it would do better. But as long as I keep going in to my current place of employment that pays minimum wage, right? That's all it's going to do. It's just going to be the same thing. But I keep having to go in, and it interferes with my personal time. If I had more time here, you won't see that right away, but within 6 months to a year, I could turn this into something. But I can never get that momentum going, right? So there's always been something. It's the frustrating part. But it's getting on close to 12. I should see if my friend on the other thing is still going.
Where are they now? Only
quiet. Sorry about that. That shouldn't have been. The audio always starts back up. I have to keep turning it down every time. Oof. Wow. Okay. anyways, I'm just kind of doing some doodles here. I got a few more viewers that came back in. Usually every time I'm thinking I'm about to kind of shut down, then I start getting more viewers. But I also I need to come up with something for the next YouTube video. I have a couple of ideas. I really wanted to do that sort of draw your life story, and I was going to do that little story, but it's going to take about 6 drawings. I have to sort of pre-draw. And then that one's going to take a little longer to put together. I should do that one kind of on the side while do something else. So this is where I need more time. That's really frustrating. That's really, really frustrating. And I need to get more exercise. I need to get out for walks more too. I've been noticing my health has been having a lot of issues, and I think it's just simply for the fact that I haven't been eating great and I haven't been getting out and getting enough exercise. And it really does take its toll. It really, really does kind of wear on you after a while if you don't get out and walk enough, if you don't do enough of just something, some kind of physical movement, some kind of physical exercise you need to do. And I notice it really does catch up with you over time as you get older. It gets dynamic eraser. It's not very dynamic. So I need to actually get out and do more. And I work at a YMCA. Isn't that awful? It's hard to go to your place of employment on your time off. That's the hard thing, though. Otherwise, I wish I could kind of, because I have free access to it. I can go there any time. Yeah, but it's just I also want to spend some time on Procreate Dreams. I want to start doing a little more animation with that. And because it'd be nice if I could say if I do that little start doing that little story, the draw your life story, it'd be nice if I could animate a little bit of that. And but I don't think I'm going to be able to in that. And Procreate Dreams 2 is supposed to be coming out. They haven't announced when yet. It'll be a free update. If you have the program, it'll be a free update on that, thankfully. You won't have to rebuy it or pay for the update. At least I don't think so, anyways. Yeah. Well, I've been here for almost I've been here an hour and a half, and it's coming up 10 to midnight. So if it's all the same, I think I might kind of call it a night here. At least I came on and did this. I just needed to do a live tonight to keep the momentum going. But if everyone's okay with this, I'm going to say goodnight with that. I have to use the bathroom. I was going to take a break, and I made up a new little commercial break for this. So unless people want me to stay longer, I think I'm just going to call it a night. But I only have one viewer, which I think is you, Dylan. But I think I think we'll just leave it tonight. I can build up some more, work on some more things for Friday night that I want to put together. So yeah, we'll kind of call call it there, I think. And we'll hopefully see you all on Wednesday night, if that works. If everybody's around on Wednesday night. But otherwise, I think I'll... Yeah, because it is coming up midnight. I'd like to... I should spend some time concentrating on some things that I want to get ready for Wednesday and Friday. Well, specifically Friday. I have a lot I need to put together for that. So, but yeah, I think I'm just going to call it for here for the night. So, but thanks for coming in though, Dylan. I really appreciate it. It gives me somebody to bounce off of. I just wish more people were here to be involved. I get some people pop in and say hello and then they disappear. But yeah, I don't know. Nobody kind of says anything or stays very long. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Dylan. Thanks for being here. But we'll see you Wednesday night. I'll try. I want to say for 8 o'clock my time. It might end up being a bit later, but I'll make an announcement. Once I get closer to the date, I'll know better. Oh, no, Wednesday might be an afternoon stream. Damn it, because my friend's coming up again that night. This is kind of last night off for a while. But I said I was going to do an afternoon stream. So if an afternoon stream works, we'll do something. I'll start something a little later, about 2 or 3 o'clock. And I can do that for a couple hours. Right? So it'll be an afternoon stream on Wednesday. That works for everyone. We'll see you then. All right. You have a good night, Dylan. And everybody else have a great night. We'll see you Wednesday. Wednesday, be there and be square. And I'll be there too, just as square as you. Have a great night, everyone.